Well, good morning to you all on Friday the 13th of November. Almost everywhere you turn, it's clear that no one wants to provide adequate funds for the mentally ill or the disabled or for carers, and I've documented the parlous circumstances in which those three groups of people find themselves. But you could add nurses and policemen in terms of the way they're paid, or TAFE teachers. And the argument is government can't afford it. How, therefore, can the Rudd government willfully spend $940 million on new consultancy contracts since winning office 2 years ago? $940 million, almost $1 billion. The cost of that is equivalent to the wages and salaries bill of the 1,000-strong federal treasury for almost 12 years. In other words, it's clear that the Rudd team knows so little about aspects of policy and government that they have private sector advisors and academics and so-called experts to formulate policy for all of them. And look at the advice they've received on a national broadband network, or climate change, or the education revolution, or so-called health reform. It's not as though we're getting value for our money. But according to federal government records, as of this week, the Rudd government had entered 7,706 consultancy contracts. The Defence Department has let $110.5 million in consultancies since November 2007. The Defence Material Organisation has signed up for $58 million in outside advice. The Department of Health and Ageing has awarded $80 million worth of contracts. The Department of Environment, Water, Heritage and the Arts, $65 million. The Department of Broadband, Communications and the Digital Economy, can you believe that? $62.8 million. The Department of Finance, $50 million. And the supersized Department of Education, Employment and Workplace Relations, $47.3 million. That's since the Rudd government came to office. Each of those departments have racked up those costs in consultancies. Yet when it was running for office, Mr Rudd told us a Rudd government would cut $3 billion over 4 years in what it called wasteful spending, and it said including $395 million of consultants, in criticism of the Howard government. Well, they've certainly taken the belt from the Howard government. They've gone way past that figure, and there have been no savings whatsoever. Indeed, the rate of hiring consultants has just surged. And multinational outfits like the Boston Consulting Group, McKinsey's and KPMG grabbed about $75 million worth of this, and they charge, it said, up to $500 an hour for their advice. What the hell is the public service for? It's beyond belief, isn't it? And it's an obscenity that the families of the mentally ill, the families of the disabled, are reduced to begging for a couple of $100,000, and then they can't get it. I talked this week about the Kingsdean School at Telopia, which looks after children with profound disability. The federal government has cut back its money to such an extent that that school is going to have to close. And yet the Rudd government can spend $940 million in consultancy contracts since it came to office. How can Mr Rudd expect to enjoy the trust of the electorate? I'm Alan Jones.